everyone. So in today's video, I'll be showing you some summer things that have been going on around our home. I love summer. It's probably my favorite season, spring and summer. And of course, my favorite place to be is right here at home. Summer here in Ohio means longer days. Some of our longest days, we don't get dark until maybe 9:30 or 10 o'clock. And if you know me, I'm all about the different smells and the sounds that come with the different seasons. Right now I have some tea on the stove. It smells so good. And those are just a few of the things that I love, and I'm sure I can't squeeze everything into a video, but I'll get some of the highlights. I'm going to start in the garden. I had showed you this spring how we planted some various things, and we're really impressed with what we got out of it so far this year. And we're still, at the point of filming here and editing, we're still, harvesting things. Cucumbers is something we got plenty of. In fact, I had so many, I just pulled the plant a few days ago. I made several different kinds of pickles, one of them being freezer pickles is what we call them. They keep for a long time just in the refrigerator, and then you can also put them in separate containers and actually freeze them. They consist of, of course, the sliced cucumbers, onions, and then you make a sauce that you heat on the stove and add that. They're so delicious. And I'll have the recipe down below in the description box in case you want to try them. We also got a nice harvest of corn over by our cottages where John had planted some. And once again, I'm so thankful for John's help here in helping me to get this in the freezer. And first, of course, husking it. And then you blanch it by putting it in boiling water for 8 minutes. And then it's ready to be cut off. Well, first you have to cool it down a little before cutting it off. And then basically just, bagging it and putting it in the freezer. And it's so nice to have it then during the winter months. This is actually one of our favorite vegetables. And of course, there's nothing better than fresh corn on the cob. We got to enjoy plenty of that this year. So good. I also ended up freezing a small batch of fruit slush. I always like to have some on hand. And in my case here, I'm just using blueberries, peaches, and pineapples. And then I just bought a juice, like a frozen concentrated juice, and mixed it with water. And I added that to the slush, and that will keep it from, turning brown. And it also, of course, adds some flavor too. Something else I'm going to share with you here is our favorite coffee cake recipe. I know it's not necessarily just a summer thing, but since I was in the kitchen anyway, I was fixing these and I thought I'd film it. We had a weekend friends gathering and we made breakfast the one morning, and I had these coffee cakes for breakfast. This is an old handed down recipe that Mom always used and still does. It's always our favorite when she comes with these coffee cakes, and even now I feel like hers are always better than mine. But basically the recipe makes 3 round coffee cakes. You cut them in half and then you fill them. So they are really sweet and not, the healthiest thing, but I always think if you, make it from scratch, you at least know what's being put in there and it's not filled with some, weird preservatives. My camera battery died and didn't save the video as I was putting the dough into the 3 pans, but basically you just scoop it out. It's not easy to work with as far as you can't really handle it with your hands, so I used a spoon to kind of, even it out throughout the pan. Of course, anytime you are preparing food, there's dishes to be washed, and in my case, hand washed. I don't have a dishwasher. Recently, I've been talking about these amazing dish rags that I love and use all the time, and managed to find an outlet for them that I can sell them on the website and get them into people's hands, because I think everyone should have dish rags like this. Pretty sure you won't be disappointed, but yes, we do have them on the website, and we have sold quite a number of them, and I hope you guys are liking them as much as I do. And I know washing dishes isn't the most fun thing to do, but since you have to do it anyway, you might as well make it easier. So to fill the coffee cake, you just, remove it from the pan and cut it in half, and then, add the filling. And in this case, I actually bought a filling mix. It was a healthier option. You just whipped it up with some water, added that. But there's also, I have a homemade recipe that I'll include down below in the description box. I was kind of short on time, so I just, chose to buy it. But you could totally make your own too. They're so delicious. So moving on to the outside, we've had a really beautiful summer here in Ohio. Yeah, we did have some really warm days, but I usually don't complain about that. I actually like warm weather. And we did have a dry spell there for a bit. Ended up doing some watering with the sprinkler. And of course, I tried to keep my flower pots watered on the porches and decks, usually a few times per week. And speaking of our decks and porches, they're all, wooden and kind of faded and not the prettiest anymore, but it's something on our property that I would not trade for anything. We love our decks, especially the back deck. It's right off the kitchen, and we just sit out there a lot. It's definitely something we really enjoy at all times during the day, and we're really thankful for them. So recently I felt like the front porch is in need of a refresh. So here I'm just going over some of the house plants, picking out dead leaves and sprucing things up a bit. Then I also plan to wash off the siding underneath the roof and then just wipe down some surfaces. I also want to wash the pillow covers and the blanket that are on the swing. And right now Twinkle is on the blanket, so I'll probably just leave him be. He looks way too relaxed to make him move. You might notice the rag I'm using here is a worn out dishcloth that I talked about before. So these do also make great cleaning rags, especially with hot soapy water like this. I like how they wring out and how easy it is to clean with them. So I didn't really film the beginning here when I started moving things around, but here against the railing I had some of these logs with evergreens setting, just kind of an arrangement of plants. And now I'm thinking, do I want to turn it into a small little sitting area? I have a rug on the back deck that would fit in here nicely, I think, and I have 2 chairs in the shop that aren't even in use, and we can always use extra seating here on the deck. And the large fern you see beside the rocking chair was Marlene's. She didn't want it anymore, and I of course jumped at the chance. I love ferns, and this one is huge, but I think it looks kind of good here beside the rocking chairs. Since we're doing some outside work in this video, I wanted to show you a new tool that was sent to us. And this is a Truzy pole saw, and we've never had one like this. And living here in the woods, we really should have probably invested in something like this, you know, over the years, but have never used it. I'm going to try it out today. And this is a kind of like a chainsaw. It's cordless, and it also has an extension pole included. And this is so you can, of course, you know, reach higher branches. So let's get it unboxed and see what it looks like. So here is what all is included in this. Hopefully you can see with the shine there on the table, but looks like an extra chain, a little oil can, some tools, a charger, and of course the actual saw here. And it's really cute and lightweight. I like how easy it is for me to hold this. Sometimes I have an issue with that, being that, you know, some of the tools are so heavy to use, you know, one-handed. And of course the pole here, the large extension handle thing, and the battery, and then the manual. So let's see how it works. I have this branch on the pine tree that is blocking my path going from the house to the Etsy shop. I use it numerous times a day, and I always have to kind of walk around this one branch, so I think it's time to trim it. So I'm here in our fire pit area, and looking down towards the pond, there's a branch right in here that should be removed. And I'm not even sure, can I reach it? Like, it should be cut off way up here. Not quite sure, can I reach it with the pole saw, but going to try it. If not, I might get John to help me out. But it, as you can see, it kind of hangs down here and just kind of blocks the view of the pond area. So to use the extension, you just remove the battery and put that at the end of the extension, and then of course the saw goes on the other end. It's really simple. Wow, it really extends a long ways here. So I'm pretty sure safety gear would be recommended to use when using this tool. So I guess, how do they say, don't do as I do, but do as I say. So I can almost reach it where it should be cut off, and I'm pretty sure if I get John to do this, we should be able to get it cut off where it needs to be. As you can see, this tool can be used as a pole saw and a hand saw at the same time, and it's also suitable for left and right-handed people. And John and I are both right-handed, but it can be used just as easily if somebody is left-handed. And the high pole can rotate in the range of 0 to 180 degrees, and there are 9 angles in the middle that can be locked. And definitely a really handy tool, being that it's cordless. I love that. I like tools that don't have a wire to contend with. And it can reach up to 15 feet. I didn't really mention that, but that is quite a long ways if you're, trimming branches. I know we're going to love this tool. We were actually really impressed with it. And in the end, we're going to cut a larger piece of wood just to see what it does. This runs only $139. I thought that's a really good price. And again, if you enjoy gardening and have some trees that need trimming, or even, shrubs, I'm sure it would work for that too. Definitely just, a handy tool to have around. And as you can see, it cuts right through. So impressed. Thanks to Truzy for sending this tool. And make sure to check out my link down below in the description box if you're looking for something like this. Often when I think of harvesting, my mind goes to different food, like edibles, your fruits and your vegetables. And again, we've been blessed this year to get a decent amount out of our garden, to think that it's, still fairly new. But there's, of course, other types of harvesting. I ended up planting some flowers in the garden, and I've been harvesting those too. I planted straw flowers and roses, along with zinnias and cosmos, a few other kinds. And the straw flowers I'm drying. At this point, I have a few ideas of things I want to do with them, not quite sure yet. And then the roses, I also dried some of those, the petals. I plan to use them for my soap tops. And some of the other flowers I just use to fix, bouquets with. I have memories of being a little girl, and we would attend a church, which I grew up Amish, so our church was not in a church house like your typical churches would be held in. People in the community took turns to have church at their house, so we got to visit all kinds of different houses. And my favorites were always the farmhouses. Even at a young age, I couldn't wait to go to church, at a place where they had a farmhouse. And I just always was fascinated with some of the things I saw in farmhouses, and of course, just the farm in itself. But one of the places I always remember, the lady had dried straw flowers in jars, and it looked so pretty. I remember it was, even during the winter time, and the flowers still held their color. And I was always fascinated for some reason with her pretty jars filled with straw flowers. And I guess that's kind of what prompted me to plant some. Again, not quite sure what I'll even do with them, but I just know that they're beautiful, and I can tell some of these have been drying for a while and they're still really pretty. So definitely holding their color. One of our favorite summer fruit is peaches. To me, you just can't go wrong with a juicy, sweet peach. And of course, they're delicious just peeled and eaten the way they are. But sometimes I want to fix some for supper beforehand. So I'll peel them and then chop them or mash them and add just a little bit of sugar so they don't turn brown. And some of us will add some milk. It's like peaches and cream. It's so good. Another all-time summer favorite of ours, I know I keep saying favorite, but we have a lot of things we love about summer, but another one is fresh garden tea. Oh, there's just nothing better than that. And I've been wanting to plant a separate area in our garden with just that favorite tea of ours. It's just the spearmint, kind of the woolly spearmint kind, just that old-fashioned tea. But I managed to find a few sprigs right here in my new flower bed by the picket fence, and then also on the other side of the fence, like in the field, what used to be the field. There's also some patches of some, so I think I can gather enough here to make some late summer tea. It might be one of the last times though. It's really simple to make. I just, wash the tea leaves and stems and everything. Then I put some water on the stove and wait until it's boiling, and then I add the tea, turn the burner off, and just let it steep for a couple of hours. I normally just add a little bit of sugar to sweeten things up. And I usually wait to add the sugar until it's, finished steeping but still hot. For every season, there's of course little touches you can add here and there just to bring cheer into a room or into your life. I'm a big believer in that. Like, small things sometimes just bring me lots of happiness. I know it sounds kind of simple, but it's true, and it's all in just adding, your favorite things, maybe something you like to smell or see. It's just amazing, again, what that can do to your day. Something I love to see in our bathroom are these Lily of the Valley soap ends, along with some beautiful washcloths that one of you guys actually made for me. Aren't these just beautiful? I love the color combination, and I've never even got myself to use them. I think they're too pretty. I just like to see them on the vanity. And then I also have some wild mint room spray that I like to use. Again, just something to bring a happy smell into the room and just maybe a smile to one's face. I know it might sound a little dreamy or whatever, but it definitely works for me. John has been working on clearing an area down here for a food plot for the deer. We actually see a lot of deer down here. I'd be excited to see what he can attract to this space. And I'll probably update you later on what actually he's planting in here. I'm not quite sure, but something that the deer will like. I love the sounds down here. I don't know, does the camera pick everything up, but there's so many little crickets and grasshoppers chirping. Just so peaceful. I hope this video was peaceful and inspiring to you. Don't forget to check out the recipes down below in the description box. I hope you guys have had an enjoyable summer. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.